Yes, and the other concern, of course, maliban dun sa trabaho program, is the MSMEs. Malaking bagay din yun dahil malaking bahagi sila ng ating ekonomiya at tuwing may bagyo, halimbawa, ang pinakamatinding dagok dun sa mga cannot afford na mga MSMEs at barangay enterprises na napakaliliit.
Mr. President, hindi ko na po patatagalin. If I may just na lang ask a list, Mr. President, to follow na lang, distinguished colleague, yung mga items in the department that would focus on job creation, baka pwede pong makita how much it is and siguro yung target natin, how many jobs are we looking at in this particular items na nilagay natin sa budget. Most likely, mas maganda kung mabe-breakdown po per sector. And I would just await, Mr. President, para lang masiguro natin na meron tayong nababantayan at ine-expect dahil sa paggawa at paglikha ng trabaho, alam po natin yung Department of Trade and Industry, malaking role yung kanilang ginagampanan.
Tama po. And right now, yung last listahan natin ng MSMEs, there's 1,241,475 business enterprises. 99.63% are MSMEs. Kaya, eto nga, yung micro enterprises na yan, 90%, napakarami talaga nila. And as a result, a great number of jobs, which is 6,252,202 jobs are generated by the MSMEs. So maraming program ang DTI for MSMEs to ratchet up employment. Yung shared services facility, malaking bagay yun.
Oh, yes.
Yung green economic development, yung itaas ang Pinay MSME para sa kababaihan po to. Tapos may youth entrepreneurship program, may disaster initiative. Meron din akong na-initiate na creative industries, mga makabagong trabaho para sa digital age. Ito naman yung mga online, animation, etc. na kayo rin ang naglunsad nung test daman pa kayo. So, yun ang dadagdag ko.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. President. The 6.252 million, Mr. President, this year lang po ba yun na binanggit po ninyong figure or cumulative po yun?
I think that's cumulative, but that's the latest statistics that's the latest statistic for 2024.
2024. Yes, Mr. President, despite yung manufacturing po contributing 17.6% ng ating gross domestic product in 2024, employment po dun sa sector, despite nag-improve no 17.6%, nag-fall short po siya dun sa target na 6.8% of total employment. If you can look at it, no, pwede po bang malaman natin ano ho ang nangyari ito and what's the plan of DTI for next year para ma-boost po itong manufacturing employment natin?
This is the third quarter that we're citing po.
2024 ang binigay po sa ating data ng PSA, 17.6% yung GDP natin, but the target for total employment is only fell short of targets at 6.8%. I'm sorry, 6.8%.
6.8%. Yes, I think they're aware of this issue. As a matter of fact, itong third quarter, lumaki yung unemployment. Kaya medyo nakakaabala, kinakailangan na mas marami tayong export, mga investment, pero yung nakita natin na problema tayo sa foreign direct investment, kulang sa FDI, marami pang umatras yung garments and processed food and electronics nanganganib dahil sa US tariffs, kaya medyo takutan lahat. Tapos, maliban pa sa exports dito sa local public infrastructure, may complete halt halos sa lahat ng involved, kahit bangko, sa bayaran dahil dito nga sa flood control scam na sa awa ng Diyos nanguna ang Bulacan.
Aray ko po. yung flood control nga, hindi na kami makabangon dun sa kalokohan dun. Pati dito kasali din. Mr. President, let me point out yung binanggit po ng ating distinguished sponsor ng when you talk about foreign direct investments, no? Yung preliminary data from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas shows that the net FDI inflows fell from $830 million in August 2024, naging $494 million na lang po in August 2025. And the 40.5% decline is largely attributed to the 73.8% drop in net debt instruments, which decreased also, Mr. President, from $553 million to $145 million, Mr. President. So I think it's concerning to ask also in this particular deliberation, ano ho yung measures that we will be implementing for 2026 to address the decline net foreign direct investments and improve investor confidence in our country, Mr. President?
Yes, that's correct. It's really alarming. The fall in worldwide, actually, economic slowdown and the significant downgrade with very, very tepid recovery after COVID. Kaya yan ang problema natin kung paano gagawin. And among the efforts was to create more law to make us more attractive to developers and investors. So malaking bagay yon, as well as the effort to develop more FTSC, meaning the foreign trade, yung mga trade attaché, dadagdagan yung trade attaché at mas maraming exhibitions, may effort to have a single exhibition space and so on. But it cannot be denied that the decline is really alarming.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Mr. President. That's the main reason why every time you stand here on the floor, Mr. President, the distinguished sponsor from Ilocos Norte, when you talk about mga trade agreements, trade partnership with other countries, Mr. President, kailangan ho talaga natin. But I'd like to put on record Mr. President, ano man yung po pwede nating maitulong dito sa Senado in order to help our Department of Trade and Industry. We're more than willing to be of help. Maraming salamat for your patience, distinguished colleague, for answering this representation's questions. At sa DTI family, maraming salamat po. Thank you, Mr. President.
Maraming salamat. Sa awa ng Diyos, nasa 11 na ang ating free trade agreement. Ang naabutan natin, 3 or 4 lang. At marami pang idadagdag. Inaanyayahan ko rin, alam ko, concern ni Senator Joel po, inaanyayahan na tinutulak ko ang DTI na makipag-MOA na sa DOLE. Dahil bahagi naman sila ng Regional Wage Board. At tuwing wage hike petition, dapat mas masigasig sila, lalong-lalo na sa mga small micro enterprise na hindi kaya ang mga wage hike.
I cannot agree more, and let me also put on record na I hope and pray that we consider yung living wage. Living wage, hindi po yung kung ano-ano, no? Kasi mahirap po pag hindi living wage yung basis natin when you talk about wage hikes, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you again, distinguished colleague.
Oo. Twice mentioned in the Constitution, but more honored in the breach.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, next to interpolate the measures of distinguished colleague, Senator Erwin Tulfo.
The gentleman from Palawan, Senator Erwin Tulfo, is
Thank you, Mr. President. Will the beautiful lady from Ilocos Norte yield to some questions from this representation?
Yes, thank you very much, Senator Tulfo.
Una po, Madam Chair, Mr. President, tanong ko po, kumustahin ko lamang po yung campaign ng Department of Trade and Industry laban po dito sa mga manluloko po sa social media, bibenta naman kung ano-anong bagay, yung pala pag nakuha mo na, hindi ho yun. What I mean is like selling ko na electric fan, pagdating pala ho doon, hindi naman ho gumagana, or selling yung mga items, pero it's para mga fake po yung mga items at hindi gumagana. Ano po ang, Madam Chair, Mr. President, ang kampanya ng DTI dito para protection ng consumers.
Tama po, Mr. President, Senator Tulfo, at magpapasalamat ako dyan sa sinasabi ninyo kasi mahilig akong mag-online shopping eh. Ang tawag tuloy ng anak ko budol of the day. Araw-araw dumarating, nabubudol po. Kaya talagang napakahirap. Pero sa ngayon, masigasig naman mula nung January, naka 18,494 complaints. Ganong katindi, pambubudol online. Nakapag-process naman ang DTI ng 3,528. Yung iba naman ine-endorse sa ibang opisina. Pagkatapos yung takedown, na-takedown na nila 108. Palagay ko mas marami na, lumang detalye yan. Ang problema, walang nakakasuhan. Kaya nga, sabi ko sa kanila, kahit i-takedown ninyo yan ng 30 days, wala naman hinahain na kaso sa korte para masuspenso na for good. Every 30 days. At saka baba pa lang ng fine, 20,000 kontra sa Lazada at Shopee.
So, anong plano, Madam Chair, Mr. President, na wala palang nakakasuhan? So, babalik lang po after 30 days, uulit na naman.
Kinakailangan magpila sila ng kaso. Sabi ko nga sa kanilang mga abogado, magsumigasig kayo kasi laganap na itong panloloko.
Tama, Madam Chair, Mr. President.
Yung budol of the day ko, nagiging budol everyday na po.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. President, Madam Chair. Sana po magawa ng paraan po ito ng Department of Trade and Industry. Kawawa po yung mga ordinaryo, yung mga gaya po sa amin, yung household help po namin. Lagi po sila nandyan, buibili na kung ano-ano na iuwi sa bahay nila. Pagdating naman doon, maawa ka dahil hindi pala totoo to, sir. Fake pala, hindi pala electric pan, hindi pala ganito, hindi pala mga cellphone, wala naman palang laman.
Grabe. Kaya yung DTI may iba pang programa, yung tinatawag nilang e-commerce trust mark, yung binibigay nila yung registration, yung mga online sellers. Nung umpisa, medyo nagreklamo kasi syempre babayaran mo yon ng 1,000. Kaso ngayon, voluntary na at saka may deadline until the year end. So sana magawan ng paraan at makatulong din yung trust mark na yan. Kung wala kang trust mark, alam na ng taong bayan na huwag bibili doon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Madam President. Moving forward, kumustahin ko lang, Madam Chair, ito pong Construction Industry Authority of the Philippines wherein yung pick-up po ay under dito. Na ayos na po ba ito? Na-reshuffle na po ba? Tinanggal na ba? I believe nung first few days po na investigation, kumilos ko agad po ang ating buting secretary. Nagkaroon po siya ng mga ikang pagbabago dyan. Gusto ko lang po malaman kung ano na po ang actions, ano na po ang pagbabago dito po sa SIAP na mga involved po sa flood control fiasco.
Okay, ang nangyari ko noon, agaran nagkaroon ng preliminary investigation at dumating naman yung mga kontratista. Kaya lang, nung narinig yung Blue Ribbon at iba pang investigasyon, nung 1st of September, lahat nung 9 na contractors licenses na hawak ng Diskaya Group, talagang re-revoke na nila agad-agad. Ang problema, matapos yun, yung 3 board members, dahil sinita nga ng senador na puro may conflict of interest, palibasa mga contractor sila, nag-resign. Kaya hindi na maka-action ngayon yung PCAB. Pero, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung SIAP. Dalawang grupo kasi yun Yung PCAB, yung diretso sa contractors, tapos yung SIAP may powers din to revoke, to suspend, and to register. So nag-action sila na doble-doble pa nga yung investigasyon, kaya withdraw yung isa. Pero sa ngayon, yung Wawaw and Sims Corporation, palagay ko marirevoke na rin sa susunod na linggo. Tapos yung licenses of the other contractors, kahit active, sana sa lalong madaling panahon, ma-revoke na rin kung talagang may kaso.
Thank you for that, Madam President. Ang follow-up question ko lamang po ay, Mr. President and Madam Chair. Isa po sa mga requirements, ito po ba pinag-aaralan na ngayon ng DTI? Isa sa mga requirements para maging board of director ka ng PCAB, you should be a contractor. Babaguhin ba ito? Pinag-aaralan na po ba? Kasi masama ho talaga tignan, Mr. President, Madam Chair.